everybody's doing well. I am doing a new tutorial, and this one is another review for another product. I will also show you how I made this whole cake. If you like this type of tutorial, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I always like to work with molds. There's nothing wrong with using them, and you can work fast if you know how to use them. Plus, you can get different effects with them. This tutorial is about another mold from Marvelous Molds, and I love this company. I always use them for many years, and this one I am so excited about. I will post all the links in the comment box below, so check them out. So let's get started with this tutorial. The first thing you want to do is knead your fondant really well and make sure it's not dry. If your fondant is a little bit soft and it sticks too much to everything, you can add a tad of Tylose to it. This is how thin I roll my fondant. It's around a size 1 on the pasta machine. This is the mold I'm using. Look how beautiful it is, your basic kneading stitch. Place the fondant over the mold and press. One of the most important things about these molds is since they have so many details, you want to make sure that you press everywhere. As you see in here, I'm going around the corner using my finger, making sure the fondant is cut. You can do this too using your rolling pin. After you take all the excess fondant away, make sure to press around the corners and everywhere to make sure and ensure that the pattern is pressed well. You also want to press on the border towards the inside to make sure that the fondant is all inside the mold and you don't have any areas that are jagged or look unfinished. Because these are silicone and they are a good quality silicone, you can stretch this and it helps the fondant detach from the silicone. So stretch it a little bit everywhere to make sure it detaches. Once you do that, you can add some glue to the back of your mold. The mold has a lip at the top that goes to the top so you can hold to the mold. The bottom part has no lip, so just make sure of that when you're placing it. You can place the mold on top of the cake and press well with the mold on first, and once it's attached, you can fix it with your hand. Just be careful not to overpress so you don't lose your pattern. But do make sure you press enough so it attaches to your cake. The seam on this mold attaches very clean, is just a line as you can see. I am gonna use this other mold as a detail in my cake. It looks like a braided knit and it's beautiful. You do exactly the same way. You roll your fondant, place it on the top, and you make sure that you press everywhere really well with your fingers. If your fondant sticks to the mold, you can always use some cornstarch or dab a little bit of vegetable shortening inside the mold. As you can see, this mold has one open side and one side that finishes in a line, so you can see it will meet, so you can add one after the other one and you will not lose your pattern. Remember to always stretch the silicone so it can detach the fondant from it. Here is the piece. You can place this in the fridge if it's too soft for you before placing it on the cake and let it cool down, so you can make a few of them, place them in the fridge before you place them on the cake. For pieces like this, I like to place the glue on the cake and then I will finish the rest by adding glue as I need it. That way I don't have a piece full of glue that gets all sticky and will put glue everywhere in the cake that I might not want. For this cake, I didn't put any of the pieces in the fridge because I wanted to show you it works by not doing so. But if you have a hard time with cake and you're still learning, the easiest way will be to put the pieces in the freezer and let them get hard. Freezing them will take 5 minutes, and you can mold one and place it in the fridge and then mold the next one as it cools down. I placed 3 of these bands in the cake, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and one at the top. Again, I am brushing some glue around the top of my cake so the piece attaches well. You can use gum glue. I have a recipe in my website. You can use corn syrup diluted with water, or you can use your favorite glue. I usually avoid putting glue at the borders, so that way when I put my next part, I can fix and play with it, and then I'll put the glue when I'm ready. Now I will be making some buttons. Just grab a little bit of gum paste, just place it. And I like it not to be too high. I like it to be either flat or below the edge, so that way I don't have a weird border on them. Just press well with your finger. You can see it's below the line. Press well. You can make 2 buttons at a time. You can place them in the fridge, or you just can pop them out as soon as you finish pressing them. I really love the details on these buttons. Look how cute they are. I am adding another detail to this cake, and it's a brooch. It's called a debonair brooch, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. But here is it, and it's a beautiful brooch, and I just did my fondant as I did with the other ones. I actually left this a little bit thicker because it's a brooch. So for this one, I'm pressing with a stencil brush, and just make sure that I press everywhere. You can use your fingers, you can use a ball tool, just make sure that you press really well so the pattern is everywhere. Because it's a little bit thicker, I have to use my finger a little bit more to make sure that it cuts everywhere. Using my finger also ensures that the cut is very clean. Always make sure to press everything towards the inside so you make sure you have clean edges. Because of its shape, I do suggest this one to be placed in the fridge for 5 minutes at least before you start unmolding it, because it's circles, you want to maintain the shape. I'm not doing that here because we're trying to move fast, but if you want a perfect shape, just keep that in mind. Always use a light hand when you're working with these molds. If you need to touch the top of them, make sure not to press hard. You don't want to lose the pattern. So if you see me putting my finger on top of them, I am doing a very light touch. I decided that I wanted these details in a silver highlighter, and I am adding some lemon extract to my highlighter. You can also use vodka or Everclear. Everclear is the fastest drying one because of the high alcohol content. Lemon extract is my favorite because it dries really fast too and is easier to find. Make sure to mix your highlighter with the lemon extract or vodka. You want it to be really well mixed. If you put too much vodka or lemon extract, it's okay because it tends to evaporate and sometimes you need to add more, but you do need to have the right consistency so it paints really well and it covers properly. If your consistency is too thin, just let it dry a little bit. If it's too thick, just add a little bit of more liquids to it. I usually like to start with my borders and make sure inside is painted or outside, and then I cover the top. But right now I'm just moving fast. I usually tend to do this a little bit ahead and still work on something else, so I give this some time to dry. I don't want it fully dry because I want it to be able to place it in the cake and mold it to the cake. So there's a time frame that you have to work with it. This time frame will change from place to place depending on how humid or how dry the area that you live is. After you finish painting, move it to a dry spot on the paper. That way it doesn't stick to the paper because of the vodka or lemon extract. As you can see, I'm placing in the cake. My piece is still soft, so this is why I suggest you to place it in the freezer. But you can still do it, just fix the shape. Now I am adding my buttons. I am placing one on each braid and then one on the center of my brush. And just lightly retouch those areas you touch and the paint might have come off. And here is the finished cake. I love the pattern of the knits. I'm a knit lover. I like to knit, I like to crochet, and I love this. So I hope you like this tutorial. I added some roses, some lilacs, some blossoms. All of these are in my DVDs that you can find in my website. The links are posted in the comment box below, so don't forget to check them out. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Visit me in Facebook, Instagram, share your work with me, and hope you like this tutorial. And until next one, ta-ta!